Welcome to another Transits Fridays, exciting one because we're just headed to the new moon eclipse in Virgo. So second new moon Virgo, I do see the symbolism in that, and that is pushing the message that we need to look into Virgo, that we need to release some of the shadows of Virgo, that we need to heal some of the Virgo qualities in ourselves, in our charts, etc. So think about where Virgo is in your birth chart and where particularly 29 degrees is, which is where that new moon's going to happen. So this is the big thing that's happening this week for sure. It's happening on Sunday, and we're going to look at it. We're going to look at the chart. It's very filled with aspects and grand configurations and things like that. And then we do have Mars shifting signs, so moving from Libra to Scorpio this week. And there is one grand trine that will be happening this week, other than the grand trines from the new moon as well. And I do think this is kind of a kickstart of a month filled with grand trines that's going to be happening in October. So what I mean by that translation, a month filled with grand trines there is really pointing at a lot of healing that we may achieve in the month of October, a lot of understanding, a lot of insights, a lot of new ideas and abilities that we can tap into this month as well. So first things first, let's have a look at this week. We'll talk about October another in another time or um chance. Another chance that we have. So here we are, Friday, the 19th of September, and freshly moved. We have Venus in Virgo. So Venus just entered Virgo. And obviously, by entering Virgo, Venus is kind of beginning to square Uranus. So love outside the box for the next few days, really. Love with freedom, or love means giving other people space and freedom, or giving other people voice to speak, to say what they want, what they need, etc. But here we have as well a grand trine between Pluto, Uranus, and Mercury. So there's a lot of healing or communication that could be happening. In fact, obviously, this grand trine is also a kite because it's in opposition to Neptune and Saturn as well. So there's a lot of healing there in terms of our communication, our ability to love, our connection to our values. This is all in preparation already to the new moon. And here we also still have that Mars Chiron opposition. So there's a lot going on in the sky, really, in um in this crescendo of energy to get to the new moon. Now, new moon phase is really a time where, if we are able to, is the best for downtime, is the best for resting, for, really taking your time to ponder, to reflect, slowing down. Basically, it is the perfect weekend to slow down a little bit and to really, feel what's important to you. We have the sun opposing Saturn on Saturday right there, like before the new moon. So this is happening, and it's pointing out at the importance of Pisces and Virgo at the moment. We have obviously the nodes, that's why the eclipses are falling in these signs as well. And what are we learning here in connection to Pisces, in connection to letting go of the shadows of Virgo as well? Like what's going on there for you? So this weekend is perfect for getting in touch with that, reflection, pondering, and then releasing some of these shadows, overthinking, um, overanalyzing, giving names. I was talking to some of my students, and they're saying they rush sometimes into saying if something is good or something is bad. And really, this time is really about navigating these energy rather than just putting into binary terms of good, bad, worth, not worth, etc. So there's something about a new beginning, obviously, a new moon, eclipse, partial eclipse in Virgo, opposite Saturn. This new moon is also forming a grand trine with Pluto and Uranus as well. So there's something very inventive. There's something really powerful. There is a lot of energy that we can place into that um into that intention that you want to set with this new moon, into that spell that you want to do, into that, that written words that you might want to do in terms of what you want to achieve, what you want to bring to life, all of that. This is really super important. Make the most of that energy if you can. Make the most of all of these configurations, you know. On the Saturn end is definitely something about our values, our spiritual values, learning the lessons of Pisces, learning to play, to go with the flow, to be a little bit more leaving from moment to moment rather than giving names and analyzing every single thing, or rather than being overly attached to the outcome and what it should be or how it should be. So we're really um learning lessons there in connection to that. Neptune there, retrograde, also in opposition to this new moon, is really the balance between manifesting something and transcending. And I would say manifesting something tangible in connection to our spirituality and what we believe in and how we want to live our lives, our day-to-day lives, right? There's something about that. The grand trine to Pluto and Uranus here as well is freeing ideas and communication and allowing us to tap into something bigger in terms of what's needed right now and what is available as invention and new ideas, and regenerating really our relationship to the group and what we can contribute as well. So there's a lot there. A new moon in Virgo is usually pointing out at service and what we can do in terms of meaningful service as well. So how are you serving? What is your service, right? And how are you doing it? Is it, authentic? Is it close to your heart? Are you able to allow things to unfold, or are you too attached to the rhythm or how things should be going and feeling really disappointed and tired, and all of that? It could be having an impact on your health as well, which is another Virgo topic. But I just said I'm going to pick three cards for this new moon as a kind of an advice here for us to navigate, what to keep an eye, what to pay attention, what to let go as well. So the first card I'm going to say is, what can we let go of this new moon Virgo, connected to that south node in Virgo, right? What are the shadows? What are we ready to let go? That's connected to Virgo. So the first card, the Seven of Swords. Now that's Moon in Aquarius, the Seven of Swords, and it's also a card of logic, um, logic and strategic sort of action, right? As being strategic and rational. So I guess there's something about that we are ready to let go. In particular, the shadow of the Seven of Swords here is also talking about taking advantage or doing something that's depleting for other people as well. So just pay attention to that. But in particular, the over strategic way of being in the world. Now, in terms of embracing, what can we embrace? And, what kind of seed can we plant with this new moon in Virgo? And here we have the Eight of Wands. Now that's Mercury in Sagittarius. Mercury in Sagittarius here is telling us go for it, right? Just go. I think this card is a card that says just go, just do it. Like, Nike or something. Just do it. And there's something here about flowing with that passion, with that enthusiasm. Whatever brings you joy. And that's the key word I've picked as well. Look, I'm not lying. The words that came up for me is joy, which I love. I love when I get joy as a word for the day. And I think the Eight of Wands here is saying, plant a seed of action that's connected to your passion. Action that's connected to your passion. It rhymes even. But something that you're really passionate, that you're really into, that really speaks to you, that really brings you joy, that really brings you a sense of optimism, right? Mercury in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is optimistic, is about growth, is about believing in it. And final, the third card as well, how can I best plant this seed? So how can I best channel this potential of the Eight of Wands? Oof. We've got the Ace of Cups here, which is pure water. Pure water. So the way that you're going to tap into that sort of just do it passion action with that new moon in Virgo is by really tapping into what you love the most and healing and a sense of abundance of feelings, abundance of emotions, abundance of healing, right? Abundance of love and kindness for everyone that's involved. I was reading RuPaul's biography today, and he was saying, kindness is my religion. And I really feel that. I really feel that. That's something I'm going to be adopting and embracing. Kindness is my religion as well. So the Ace of Cups is kindness there, right? Is really tapping into that and doing it for the love, letting go of the overthinking, letting go of that Seven of Swords, the over strategic way of being, and really tapping into an emotional connection there with what you're doing and how you're doing. Now, if you want to ground that further, place that new moon in your chart. Where do you have 29 degrees Virgo? Is it in your 10th house? Is it in your 8th, in your 1st, in your 5th? Because that's going to give you more clues about what area of your life that you're ready to do the things that we just talked about with the tarot reading as well. Right. So this is it for the new moon. Obviously, we also have that Venus square Uranus here, talking about loving in a different way, being more inventive with how you love, who you love, and the potential conflict here between freedom, space, and love and togetherness, right? There's a little bit of that. Now, let's move on for the rest of the week, because Monday is when we have Mars shifting to Scorpio and the Sun also entering Libra. So immediately, right off the bat, we've got a Sun opposite Neptune and a Mars square to Pluto as well. So there's tension in the air, but there is also a grand trine between the Sun, Pluto, and Uranus. And that's going to be going on for the whole week, which in fact is a kite as well, right? So there's something really karmic of this grand configuration that will keep happening, is accelerating growth, is accelerating development and what we need to do as a whole, as a collective, but also individually in our lives as well. It's kind of sustaining the actions and the things that we need to do in our lives as well. And the reflections and the ponderings and the understanding, because the grand trine bit is in air. It's about thoughts, intellect, ideas, etc. Right? So that's also happening this week. And obviously potential power struggles there, from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there might be some power struggles, Mars Pluto square, Sun Neptune opposition. How do we balance this? How do we balance what I really want and what I really need with what's needed from me in a situation, right? There is a little bit of that there. What do I do with the passion and the intensity of what I want here with Mars and Scorpio versus what the group really wants from me, expects from me, etc. Right? Do I belong? Do I act in a different way so I can belong? Or do I find my tribe, and forget about this group that really does not embrace who I am? Those are some of the questions there to pay attention to and use this energy wisely, right? And then we have a grand trine on Thursday with the moon, Jupiter, and Saturn. So grand trine in water, which obviously very briefly on Thursday, we're going to have a Star of David or grand sextile between Uranus, the Sun, and Pluto, a grand trine, and another grand trine with the Moon, Saturn, and Jupiter. It's a bit out of signs, really. I mean, there's 7 degrees orb here between Jupiter and Saturn, etc. So I wouldn't like, wow, go, out of my way to talk about this. But it's fascinating, isn't it? We can see that Star of David here, and it's a day to watch as well, the 25th of September. What's going to be happening around you? What sort of codes can you crack? How much can you understand more of people, of loved ones, of the conflict that maybe we experienced on Tuesday, Wednesday, then on Thursday, we might find some resolution, some understanding, something that might happen there, right? So busy, busy, busy astrological week. I hope you can make the most of it. I hope the tarot has helped as well to bring some imagery for you. I want to pick up Indora here just to show you guys. She's still here, isn't it, darling? Hmm. And that's it. This is our astrology for the week. I will be back next Friday, and I still want to do more videos on YouTube. I'm just being a bit busy and a bit on a sort of incubator period of my work, but I definitely am coming up with some new ideas. Also, my Astrological Tarot Masterclass is starting this Tuesday. If you really want to study with me, you have the great opportunity now because it's super affordable and it's so comprehensive. 7 weeks, really deep. So go for it. I'm going to share the link as well for you to enroll. So that's it. Take care. Have a wonderful, beautiful new moon eclipse. And I will be seeing you all next week. So, mwah, big kiss. Take care.